Have you ever felt like you're living a life that was, in some inexplicable way, already written? What if the experiences, knowledge, and even the abilities of your ancestors are encoded within you, accessible through what we call blood memory? This isn't just about dusty family photos and nostalgic stories. It's about unlocking hidden talents, overcoming inherited traumas, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life by connecting with the wisdom of those who came before you. Understanding this blood memory could change everything you thought you knew about yourself, your family, and your place in the world. The theory of blood memory suggests that we inherit more than just physical traits from our ancestors. While traditional science primarily focuses on DNA as the blueprint of life, epigenetics reveals a far more complex picture. It demonstrates how environmental factors, traumas, and even learned behaviors can alter gene expression, and crucially, these changes can be passed down through generations. Think of it as your ancestors leaving behind a kind of cellular diary, adding annotations and highlights to your DNA. But this is just one piece of the puzzle, because beyond the tangible realm of genetics lies the influence of the collective unconscious. We inherit predispositions, emotional tendencies, and even what could be described as spiritual gifts from our lineage, suggesting that the story of your life is intertwined with the stories of countless others who came before. Have you ever noticed similar patterns of addiction, relationship problems, or financial struggles repeating in your family tree, almost like a pre-scripted drama playing out across generations? Perhaps you've also observed remarkable talents, like a knack for music, art, or healing, appearing in different family members, even without formal training. While purely materialistic explanations might point to shared environments or learned behaviors, could there be something more profound at play? What if psychic abilities, intuitive gifts, or spiritual inclinations can also be inherited, passed down through lineages like a secret inheritance? This suggests a realm of non-physical influence shaping our lives in ways that science is only beginning to explore. Understanding this blood memory has profound significance for personal growth, healing, and self-discovery. Imagine unlocking hidden creative talents you never knew you possessed, finding the strength to break free from destructive inherited patterns, and gaining a deeper understanding of your own unique purpose by connecting with the wellspring of ancestral wisdom. The potential impact extends far beyond the individual, rippling outwards to families and even society as a whole. By understanding ancestral patterns, we can begin to heal inherited traumas, break cycles of abuse, poverty, or discrimination, and create a more positive future for generations to come. This raises some profound questions and challenges us to consider what DNA really is. What if it's more than just a genetic code dictating physical traits? What if it also acts as a receiver or antenna for ancestral consciousness, a kind of biological hard drive storing the memories and experiences of our forebears? To truly grasp the implications of blood memory, we must delve into the essential background elements that underpin this fascinating concept. Epigenetics, as previously mentioned, offers a key to understanding how environmental factors can influence gene expression and be inherited. The Dutch hunger-winter study, for instance, provides compelling evidence of this phenomenon, demonstrating how famine experienced by pregnant women during World War II affected the health and well-being of their children and grandchildren. Expanding our understanding, we must also introduce Carl Jung's revolutionary concept of the collective unconscious and archetypes. Jung proposed that beneath our individual conscious minds lies a shared reservoir of universal symbols, myths, and patterns inherited from our ancestors. Archetypes like the hero, the mother, or the trickster manifest in our personal lives and family histories, shaping our behaviors and influencing our destinies in profound ways. As we continue our exploration, we will examine scientific evidence, historical perspectives, and spiritual practices related to blood memory. We'll delve into shamanic traditions from around the world, exploring how these cultures have long venerated ancestors and sought guidance from their spirits. We will also investigate the practice of family constellation therapy, a powerful technique for uncovering hidden family dynamics and healing inherited traumas. Ultimately, we seek to investigate the fundamental patterns that emerge across generations, the trauma patterns that bind families to cycles of suffering, the talent patterns that reveal hidden gifts and abilities, the archetypal patterns that shape our personalities and destinies, and the geographical patterns that connect us to specific places and cultures. You'll see case studies of families with repeating patterns of addiction, artistic talent, or migration to specific locations, each revealing a unique facet of blood memory in action. Are we truly unique individuals, or are we living out scripts written long ago by our ancestors? Is there a secret key to unlock this ancestral knowledge, and if so, how can we find it? As we delve deeper, we'll uncover the intricate connections between our past and present, revealing the hidden forces that shape our lives. Have you ever met someone who eerily resembles a deceased relative, not just in appearance, but also in personality traits, mannerisms, or even life experiences? Are these mere coincidences, or are they echoes of the past reverberating through time? In the sections that follow, we'll explore specific meditation practices, ancestral rituals, and family constellation therapy techniques designed to help you connect with your ancestors, unlock your hidden potential, and harness the power of blood memory. Let's now turn our attention to the scientific underpinnings of blood memory, starting with the fascinating field of epigenetics. Epigenetics reveals that our genes are not fixed entities, but are rather influenced by environmental factors that can alter their expression. These alterations, incredibly, can be passed down through multiple generations. Consider, for example, the Dutch hunger winter, a period of severe famine in the Netherlands during World War II. Studies have shown that pregnant women who experienced this famine had children and grandchildren with increased risks of obesity, cardiovascular disease, and other health problems. This is because the famine altered epigenetic markers, essentially tags on the DNA that control gene activity without changing the underlying DNA sequence itself. These epigenetic tags influenced how genes related to metabolism and growth were expressed in subsequent generations. This challenges the traditional view of genetics as a fixed destiny. While our genes may predispose us to certain traits or conditions, epigenetics demonstrates that lifestyle choices, environmental exposures, and even emotional experiences can modify these predispositions. Think of it this way: your genes provide the blueprint, but epigenetics determines which parts of the blueprint are actually built. For example, an individual with a genetic predisposition to type 2 diabetes can significantly reduce their risk through a healthy diet, regular exercise, and stress management. These lifestyle modifications can alter epigenetic markers, effectively switching off genes that promote the disease and activating genes that protect against it. The control you wield over your health is far greater than you realize, but the story doesn't end there. The emerging field of trauma inheritance reveals an even more profound dimension of blood memory. Research suggests that traumatic experiences can alter gene expression and be passed down through generations, leading to increased vulnerability to mental and physical health issues. Studies on Holocaust survivors have shown that their descendants have a higher risk of anxiety disorders, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Similar findings have emerged from research on Native American populations affected by historical trauma, such as forced displacement and cultural genocide. These intergenerational effects of trauma can manifest as specific behavioral patterns, such as increased anxiety, depression, addiction, or difficulty forming secure attachments. It seems that the echoes of the past can reverberate through our very biology, and it goes even deeper, with studies showing patterns of physiological responses linked to ancestral trauma. For instance, research has demonstrated that individuals with a family history of trauma may exhibit altered heart rate variability, a measure of the balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. They may also have dysregulation of stress hormone production, leading to heightened reactivity to stress and difficulty returning to a state of calm. These physiological patterns suggest that ancestral trauma can leave a lasting imprint on our nervous systems, shaping our responses to the world around us. Is it any wonder that some feel as though they are living the same nightmare, generation after generation? Stepping now into the realm of the psyche, let's revisit Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious. Jung proposed that beneath our individual conscious minds lies a shared reservoir of universal experiences, memories, and archetypes inherited from our ancestors. These archetypes are universal patterns of behavior, imagery, and symbolism that manifest in our dreams, myths, and personal lives. Think of the hero, the shadow, the anima animus, the feminine and masculine aspects of the personality, and the wise old man. The hero, for example, is the archetype of courage, resilience, and the quest for self-discovery. The shadow represents the repressed or disowned aspects of our personality. The anima animus embodies our inner feminine and masculine qualities. These archetypes play out within families, shaping relationships, roles, and patterns of behavior. Consider the scapegoat archetype, where one family member carries the burden of the family's unresolved issues. This individual may be blamed for everything that goes wrong, or they may be ostracized and rejected by the rest of the family. On the other hand, the hero archetype can lead individuals to sacrifice their own needs for the sake of their family or community. They may feel compelled to rescue others or to take on responsibilities that are not their own. These archetypes are not merely abstract concepts. They are powerful forces that shape our lives in profound ways. Have you noticed these dynamics at play in your own family? This leads us to shadow work, a process of integrating the repressed or disowned aspects of our personality, including those inherited from our ancestors. By acknowledging and accepting our ancestral shadows, the traumas, secrets, and unresolved conflicts passed down through our lineage, we can gain greater self-awareness, compassion, and wholeness. Shadow work can help us break cycles of negative behavior and heal inherited trauma. Imagine acknowledging the alcoholism that plagued generations of your family, not with shame, but with a deep understanding of its roots and a commitment to breaking the cycle for future generations. These archetypal patterns connect in fascinating ways to epigenetic inheritance. It's as if the archetypes themselves influence gene expression and behavior across generations. Recurring patterns of success or failure, health or illness may be linked to specific archetypes present in the family lineage. Perhaps a family with a strong warrior archetype also carries a genetic predisposition to autoimmune disorders, a physical manifestation of the body attacking itself. Or perhaps a family with a prominent healer archetype also exhibits a remarkable resilience to disease and a natural inclination towards holistic health practices. Are these connections coincidental, or do they reveal a deeper interplay between our genes and our ancestral psyche? Shifting now into the realm of shamanic traditions, let's explore how cultures around the world have long venerated ancestors and sought guidance from their spirits. Shamans act as intermediaries between the living and the dead, facilitating communication and resolving conflicts between the two realms. They may use rituals, ceremonies, and altered states of consciousness to connect with ancestral spirits and receive guidance for healing, problem-solving, or spiritual growth. Consider the Day of the Dead celebrations in Mexico, where families create elaborate altars to honor their deceased loved ones, believing that their spirits return to visit the living during this time. Many traditions utilize ancestral altars as a way to honor and connect with deceased family members. These altars typically include photos of ancestors, objects that were meaningful to them, and offerings of food, flowers, or other gifts. Rituals performed at the altar may include prayer, meditation, storytelling, or simply spending time in quiet contemplation, feeling the presence of one's ancestors. Creating an ancestral altar can be a powerful way to cultivate a sense of connection to one's lineage and to receive guidance and support from those who came before. Is there a space in your home where you could honor your ancestors? Dreamwork is another powerful tool for receiving guidance and insights from ancestral spirits. Dreams can be interpreted as messages from our ancestors, offering clues about our past, present, and future. Paying attention to symbols, emotions, and recurring themes in our dreams can provide valuable insights into our ancestral patterns and the challenges we face in our own lives. Lucid dreaming, where we become aware that we are dreaming, and intentional dream incubation, where we set an intention to receive guidance from our ancestors before falling asleep, can further enhance our ability to connect with ancestral guides. What messages might your ancestors be trying to send you through your dreams? Many shamanic practices target specific ancestral patterns, working to release blockages and restore balance within the family lineage. Rituals may focus on healing inherited trauma, resolving conflicts between family members, or restoring harmony between the living and the dead. By addressing these ancestral patterns, we can break cycles of limitation and create a more positive future for ourselves and our descendants. It's a delicate dance, navigating the currents of the past to create a brighter tomorrow. From an esoteric perspective, psychic inheritance suggests that certain psychic abilities or spiritual gifts can be passed down through family lines. Some individuals may be born with a natural predisposition to clairvoyance, mediumship, or healing due to ancestral influences. Certain families may carry a lineage of magical or spiritual knowledge, passed down through generations through stories or practice. Ancestral spirits are often seen as benevolent guides and protectors who offer assistance and support to their living descendants. These spirits may act as guardian angels, watching over us and intervening in our lives to protect us from harm. Some individuals report experiencing direct communication with ancestral spirits, receiving guidance or support in times of need. It's even been speculated that DNA acts as a record keeper of past experiences, storing information about our ancestors' lives, thoughts, and emotions, like a biological Akashic record. While this remains speculative, the potential implications are profound. Perhaps DNA is not just a blueprint, but a living library of ancestral wisdom. These esoteric perspectives, while seemingly far-fetched, may one day be validated by scientific findings. Future research may explore the link between DNA, consciousness, and the collective unconscious, potentially revealing new insights into the nature of blood memory. What if science and spirituality are not so different after all? Stepping back into the practical, researching your family history and creating a genealogical tree can be a powerful way to connect with your ancestors. Online resources like Ancestry.com, Family Search, and MyHeritage provide access to vast databases of historical records, including census data, birth certificates, marriage licenses, and death certificates. Digging into these records can reveal fascinating details about your ancestors' lives, their occupations, their migration patterns, and their relationships. But don't stop at names and dates. Seek to uncover the hidden stories and experiences of your ancestors. Interview family members, read old letters and journals, and visit ancestral homelands. Try to understand the historical context in which your ancestors lived and the challenges and opportunities they faced. What were their dreams? What were their struggles? By understanding their stories, you can gain a deeper appreciation for your own life and your place in the world. As you delve into your family history, look for recurring patterns and themes. Were there patterns of migration, occupation, relationship dynamics, health issues, or financial struggles? By identifying these patterns, you can begin to understand the roots of inherited trauma, talents, and beliefs. You might discover, for example, that a recurring pattern of financial instability in your family is linked to a traumatic event in your ancestral past, such as the loss of a family business, or the displacement of refugees. Or you might discover that a talent for music or art has been passed down through generations, even if it hasn't been explicitly taught. Be warned. Researching family history can uncover uncomfortable truths or challenge idealized views of our ancestors. You may discover that your ancestors were not always virtuous or successful. They may have made mistakes, caused harm, or suffered greatly. This can create tension, prompting deeper self-reflection and challenging your own beliefs about your family and your place in it. But ultimately, understanding and working with ancestral patterns can break cycles of limitation and create a more positive future. Individuals have transformed their lives by healing inherited trauma or embracing ancestral talents, often by understanding how those traumas and talents were created and transmitted across generations. It all starts with acknowledging the past and choosing to change the future. Forgiveness and reconciliation play a crucial role in healing ancestral wounds and restoring balance within the family lineage. Forgiving our ancestors for their mistakes and shortcomings can free us from carrying their burdens. Family constellation therapy can facilitate forgiveness and reconciliation by bringing hidden family dynamics to light and allowing individuals to experience a sense of closure and understanding. Are you ready to forgive the past and embrace the future? Finally, we must claim our ancestral gifts, identifying and embracing our ancestral talents and strengths. Connecting with our ancestral heritage can empower us to live more authentically and fulfill our potential. Are you ready to unlock your hidden potential and harness the power of blood memory? In the next section, we will reveal specific techniques for activating blood memory and harnessing its power for personal growth and transformation. Prepare to embark on a journey of self-discovery, healing, and empowerment as we unlock the secrets encoded within your DNA. As we stand at the threshold of understanding blood memory, it's time to synthesize the seemingly disparate worlds of science and spirit. For too long, these domains have been treated as mutually exclusive, when in reality, they are simply different languages describing the same underlying reality. Science, with its focus on empirical evidence and mechanistic explanations, provides the how of ancestral influence, revealing the mechanisms by which genes are modified and trauma is transmitted across generations. Spirituality, with its emphasis on interconnectedness, consciousness, and the unseen realms, provides the why, offering a framework for understanding the deeper purpose and meaning of our ancestral connections. Think of epigenetics and shamanism not as opposing forces, but as complementary lenses through which we can view the intricate tapestry of inheritance. Science illuminates the threads, while spirituality reveals the pattern. Now, let's weave the various threads of your family history, the trauma, the talents, the archetypes, the geographical journeys into a cohesive narrative. Begin by creating a visual representation of your family tree, not just with names and dates, but with key events, recurring patterns, and the archetypal figures that seem to dominate your lineage. Who were the heroes, the scapegoats, the healers, the warriors? What were the defining moments that shaped your family's destiny? As you piece together this visual tapestry, look for the underlying themes and messages that emerge. Is there a recurring pattern of resilience in the face of adversity, a deep connection to nature, a talent for innovation or creativity? By identifying these threads, you can begin to understand the unique story of your lineage and your place within it. Reiterate the understanding of DNA as more than just a genetic code. It is also a receiver and archive of ancestral experiences. Consider that our DNA is a bridge between the physical and non-physical realms, a conduit through which we can tap into the wisdom and knowledge of our ancestors. We can consciously access this information through specific practices. One such technique is meditative ancestral journeying, setting a clear intention to connect with a specific ancestor or to receive guidance on a particular issue. Visualize yourself walking through a door into the past, meeting your ancestor in a safe and supportive space. Ask them questions, listen to their wisdom, and express your gratitude for their presence in your life. As you deepen your connection with your ancestors, you may begin to receive insights, visions, or feelings that offer clarity and guidance. It's time to shift your perspective from seeing yourself as a victim of inherited patterns to an empowered heir of ancestral gifts and strengths. Reframing inherited trauma as an opportunity for growth and healing, you can transform the wounds of the past into sources of resilience and compassion. Instead of being defined by the challenges your ancestors faced, you can choose to embody their strengths, talents, and wisdom. And view inherited talents as a source of inspiration and fulfillment, a way to honor your ancestors' legacy while creating a meaningful life for yourself. You are not merely a product of your past, you are a co-creator of your future. Zooming out, let's consider how individual ancestral journeys connect to the larger tapestry of human history and the collective unconscious. Addressing your own ancestral trauma contributes to healing larger societal issues, such as racism, inequality, and environmental destruction. For example, if you discover that your ancestors were involved in the slave trade, you can commit to becoming an advocate for racial justice and equality. If you uncover patterns of environmental destruction in your family history, you can dedicate yourself to sustainable living and environmental conservation. By healing our own ancestral wounds, we can help to create a more just and sustainable world for all. Each generation plays a role in the unfolding of a larger story. What is the deeper meaning and purpose behind your family lineage? Consider the unique contribution of your ancestors to the world and how you can continue that legacy through your own actions. Perhaps your ancestors were pioneers who blazed new trails, or activists who fought for social justice, or artists who created beauty and inspiration. How can you honor their contributions by continuing their work in your own way? What unique gifts and talents do you possess that can help you to fulfill your family's destiny? Recognize that healing ancestral trauma has a ripple effect, positively impacting your family, community, and future generations. Stories abound of those who have broken cycles of abuse, poverty, or addiction by addressing their ancestral wounds. The woman who, after years of struggling with depression, discovered that her grandmother had been a Holocaust survivor. By acknowledging and processing her grandmother's trauma, she was able to heal her own depression and create a more joyful life for herself and her children. Your healing is not just for you, it's for everyone connected to your lineage. Connecting with ancestors is about more than just understanding the past. It's about shaping the future. Ancestral veneration becomes a form of activism, honoring those who came before us while working to build a better world for those who will come after us. Imagine future generations looking back on our time, seeing us as the ancestors who healed the wounds of the past and created a more just, sustainable, and compassionate world. That is the legacy we have the potential to leave behind. Here are some steps for actively engaging with blood memory. Start by setting up an ancestral altar, a sacred space where you can honor and connect with your deceased family members. Include photos of your ancestors, objects that were meaningful to them, and offerings of food, flowers, or other gifts. Spend time at the altar each day, praying, meditating, or simply contemplating the lives of your ancestors. Create personalized rituals, such as lighting candles, reciting affirmations, or playing music that reminds you of your ancestors. To integrate ancestral wisdom, combine shadow work, family constellation principles, and shamanic journeying into a transformative process. Begin by identifying the recurring patterns and themes in your family history. What are the shadows that have been passed down through generations? What are the unresolved conflicts that need to be healed? Next, use family constellation therapy to bring hidden family dynamics to light and gain a deeper understanding of the roles and relationships within your family system. Finally, engage in shamanic journeying to connect with your ancestors and receive guidance on how to heal these patterns and restore balance within your lineage. How do you structure communication with ancestors, interpret signs, and integrate knowledge from the past? Begin by setting a clear intention to connect with your ancestors. Ask specific questions and be open to receiving answers in unexpected ways. Pay attention to your dreams, synchronicities, and intuitive insights. Keep a journal to record your experiences and track the guidance you receive. Trust your intuition and follow the path that feels most aligned with your heart. Remember, you are not alone. Your ancestors are supporting you from the other side, offering courage and strength as you navigate the challenges of life. They are cheering you on, celebrating your successes, and guiding you towards your highest potential. Whenever you feel lost or discouraged, reach out to them for support. Know that you are loved, you are supported, and you are capable of anything you set your mind to. What are the ethical considerations of accessing and working with ancestral knowledge? Always respect cultural traditions, avoid appropriation, and honor the autonomy of deceased ancestors. Seek guidance from qualified practitioners and elders when engaging in ancestral work. Be mindful of the potential for harm and avoid practices that could exploit or disrespect the spirits of the dead. Approach ancestral work with humility, reverence, and a deep sense of responsibility. What is the future of epigenetics and ancestral studies? Future research may reveal even more profound connections between our DNA, consciousness, and the collective unconscious, potentially leading to the development of new therapies and interventions based on our understanding of blood memory. Imagine a future where we can use genetic testing to identify individuals at risk for inherited trauma and provide targeted interventions to help them heal. Imagine a world where we can harness the power of ancestral wisdom to create a more just, sustainable, and compassionate society. The possibilities are endless. Now share your own experiences with blood memory in the comments section, creating a sense of community and shared exploration. What insights have you gained from connecting with your ancestors? What challenges have you faced? What techniques have you found most helpful? By sharing our stories, we can learn from each other, support each other, and inspire each other on this journey of self-discovery. And finally, we will explore the use of technology to enhance our understanding of ancestral influence, such as genetic testing and biofeedback, diving deeper into past life regression, mediumship, and remote viewing. Take the first step on your ancestral journey and be reborn through ancestral knowledge. You have the power to heal the wounds of the past, embrace your ancestral gifts, and create a brighter future for yourself and generations to come. The time to awaken is